On a picture-perfect night in Columbia, Missouri, the Friday night lights come on just one more time for Class 4 football here in the Show Me State. This is the Missouri State High School Activities Association Show Me Bowl 2019. The championship for Class 4 football between the Webb City Cardinals and the Pirates of Platte County. Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Faroe Field here on the University of Missouri Columbia campus. I'm Corey Riggs alongside Bo Bayman. Bo, the captains make their way out to the center of the field. We are just about ready to start our second football championship game of the day.
And Corey, this should be a good one in Class 4. Looking forward to Webb City and Platte County. Platte County coming in with 3 losses, but their head coach told us, you know what? They were all learning moments. We learned about ourselves after each loss. So can they come to Columbia and take down mighty Webb City?
Webb City comes into tonight's game with a record of 13-1 out of the Central Ozark Conference in Southwest Missouri. The lone loss on their record to Class 6 state runner-up Joplin as the Eagles fell to DeSmet last weekend here at Faroe Field. Meanwhile, Platte County sports an 11-3 record with quality wins up and down their schedule. Platte County out of the Kansas City area. Bill Oots, their head coach, 95 wins against 47 losses for the Holton High School grad out of Kansas. Coin flip going on currently. Our referee for tonight's game is Joe Polker. Our umpire is Tyler Johnston. The linesman is Mason Polker. The line judge is Joseph Polker. Both, are you noticing a pattern here?
I am.
And the back judge is David Rabbit. So a family affair for the men in stripes tonight, and they have earned their way here to Show Me Bowl the same way these teams have. Our officials graded out as some of the best in the state. That's how they are selected to be here and call this contest. Both teams' captains on the field, coin flipped up. Polk County is the home team on the scoreboard tonight. Webb City will be the visitor.
And it looks to me like Webb City has won the toss and decided to defer to the second half.
Polk County in the all black uniforms, orange numbers on the back. Webb City in the white uniform tops, the powder blue pants with the red and white stripe. Special look that they only break out for championship games, Bo, but this is a team that spends a lot of time in championship games. Their head coach, John Roderick, has guided them to 11 of their 14 state titles.
And here's the road for Webb City. They started off with McDonald County, then beat Willard, then Bolivar, then took down Camdenton 62-34. And then last year, if I'm not mistaken, Corey, wasn't it Ladue that knocked Webb City out of the playoffs in the semifinals? Well, they got revenge this year, 35-0 in the semifinals.
Yep, taking out the team that took them out one season ago. Platte County with wins over Winnetonka, Smithville, Lincoln College Prep, Grain Valley, and St. Mary's out of St. Louis. A one-point game, mind you, in the state semifinal, 15-14. So the Platte County Pirates battle-tested and ready to go tonight against the Webb City Cardinals.
Should be an exciting atmosphere. The crowd from Platte County really filling in on the near side, and a good crowd over there from Webb City on a Friday night. It's a long trip up to Columbia from Webb City, but they're all here as they always are.
They kickstart this game with a short kick right in between the hash marks. The return is on for Platte County, brought down at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Pirates will begin their opening drive as they are led out by their quarterback, QB1 Chris Runke. Good numbers for this young man on the season, Bo. 198 of 361 through the air. He is just under 3,000 yards passing, 2,820, 24 touchdowns, and 8 picks.
And they're going to start out with wide receivers each way and one running back in the backfield. And I think we'll see this look a lot.
Spread offense is the standard formation. Not much to find on first down as the run was to Caden Davis out of the 4 wide set. The offensive line Butchler, Fagan, Siegel, Wallingford, and Renner, the offensive linemen, Mitchell, Clarkson, Rollins, McCush, the wide receivers, Davis, the running back, for Chris Runke.
And Runke runs the show, and he's ready to go and has everybody lined up, and look at that first pass.
First pass right on the numbers, right into the chest of Dayton Mitchell for a first down, and the Pirates move the chains on their opening drive. That is the 64th catch of the season for Dayton Mitchell, and Bo, with that 6-yard gain, he is over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. In a big-time moment on a big-time stage, another run off the left tackle, and another big gain here for Caden Davis on first down. He'll pick up 9.5.
Caden Davis played in 13 games coming into this week. Averages 6 yards per carry, has 10 touchdowns on the ground, and a good start so far for the Pirates as they're moving the ball.
Up tempo too right now. No huddle, not letting Webb City's defense get set. That time the Cardinals get a good stop. Defensively for Webb City tonight, a defensive line of McDaniel, Trenton Thompson, Braden Bond, and Gavin Serber, the outside linebacker, a three-man defensive line. Smith, Perez, and Linker, the other linebackers, the corners, McAllister and Knoll, the safeties, Rogers and Parker. Pirates continue to move the chains here on their opening drive, now with the ball securely on the 43-yard line, heading toward the north end zone here at Faurot Field. Trips to the right side of Runke. He looks that way, now tries to come back the other way. He'll break the contain and run. Runke gets out and around, and somebody looking for a flag down there, but instead it's going to be a great play that time, Bo. Cardinals had good coverage downfield, and Runke takes what the defense gives him.
Good recognition by the quarterback there, and Webb City was looking for maybe a crack back or blindside block as he was coming toward the sidelines.
Second down, they'll give the ball back inside. Short gain this time for Caden Davis. As for the first time, he cut back to the right. Obviously, the offense kind of favoring that left side of the line as far as the rushing plays have gone here in the opening series. Third down and 2, a key down here early. Webb still in the standard 3-4 defense. 2 receivers to either side of the formation for Runke as he looks back to his sideline. Gets the offensive play call. Out of the gun. He'll fake the handoff, keep it himself, and then fall forward. He needed about 2 or 3. He got 4 for the first down. And the drive continues for the Pirates. Platte County, 3-time state champions. They were dominant, Bo, for 3 straight years. 2000, 2001, and 2002. They won it all.
They've been here since. Just haven't been able to capture that 4th title.
This time it'll be an empty set for Runke. Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the near side, a quick hitter again, caught and taken down right before the 25-yard line. And they just continue to roll this offense, clicking on all cylinders right out of the gates. Caden Davis now showing you he's a complete back. He can run the ball, and he's also a good target out of the backfield.
And Davis, they're using kind of like a Christian McCaffrey. He can run it through the tackles like he does here. They can also split him out wide.
Tackle that time by Smith of the Cardinals. It'll be third down and short.
But Corey, good chunk yardage on these plays, and they're leaving themselves third down and manageable, which has led to the first downs that they've converted.
Third down and short, another quick hitter. That one bounces in and out of the hands of Dayton Mitchell that time, the Pirates' leading receiver who just went over 1,000 yards for the season. And fourth down and short, Bo, ball on the 23. Can't probably be thinking field goal here.
I think Coach Oots is going to go for it here. Fourth down and short, and a big play early here in the first quarter.
The black and orange fans come to their feet. The folks wearing red and blue on the other side do as well. This is all going to depend on the spot. Davis dives forward. Did he get just enough? I think we're going to have a measurement here.
Good penetration, really, on both sides there, because Davis looked like he may have had a lane. They'll call it a first down. First down for the Pirates, and the drive continues.
Platte County coming out of the gate rolling, and both of these two teams in their semifinal wins had success early, Bo, because they had long, sustained opening drives that they paid off with points. 8-play drives, 16-play drives that carve up 5, 6, 7 minutes on the clock. That template is in effect here for Platte County this evening. Runke with a man in motion, but there's going to be a false start penalty as the left tackle rocked out of his stance.
That looked like Trey Butcher, who rocked a little bit early, and the man went in motion, and when the motion went, so did the left tackle.
Referee Joe Polker with the call. 8:16 to play here in quarter number 1.
That's the first mini mistake we've seen here by Platte County.
Platte County, ironically, is 0 for 1 on third downs, but 1 for 1 on fourth downs when you look at the early stat line. 1st and 15 now. Ball pulled back to the 27. Runke wants to throw. Will has a man wide open. It is again Dayton Mitchell as he is ridden out of bounds by the Cardinals' defensive secondary, and a flag comes in at the end of the play after Tanner Rogers, among others, drove the receiver out of bounds.
I think this is going to be a late hit out of bounds. It looked to me like the receiver, Mitchell, was out of bounds by a couple of steps, and all of a sudden there was one more hit on him, and I believe that's going to be the personal foul.
And that is huge. That's going to put Platte County on the front porch of walking this one in for the opening score here as they'll go inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal from the 8. Out of the gun again for Runke. We're not going to quite get started just yet.
The chains on the far side were not set, and the chain gang didn't have everything in motion, it looks like right now. But I don't think they're needed considering it's 1st down and goal.
From the 8.
Yeah.
Don't need the chains when you're inside the 10. The only thing that matters are those 2 orange pylons. Whether or not a defense from Webb City can bow their back and try to hold the Pirates out here, or if the Pirates pay off this opening drive with points. Inside handoff, nowhere to run that time as a wall of Webb City defenders swallows up Caden Davis.
Good job on defense there by Braden Bond. Bond, as a defensive end, really stuffed the middle and not much doing. It'll be 2nd down and goal with just the gain of 1.
Caden Davis has 4 carries for 9 yards. Those 9 yards put him over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. Now 1,001 yards to go with the 10 touchdowns for the featured back for Platte County. 2nd down and goal. Runke up the middle is taken down. Runke will pick up a couple as Braden Bond, the Cardinal defensive end, slid over and got the ankle tackle to hold up the Pirates QB.
And a good thing Bond was there because there was a lane there to the end zone. If he doesn't get the feet of Runke and brings Runke down, no gain. So now you have 3rd and goal from the 7. And maybe Webb City can stiffen here and take away some of this momentum from the Pirates.
The Pirates will kick. They've attempted 21 field goals on the season. They've converted 14. On 3rd down now. Runke batted up and batted down in the Cardinals secondary off the fingertips that time of number 15, Cale McAllister.
One thing you can tell about Runke, Corey, is he's got a gun.
Oh, heck yeah, he does.
Fastball right there.
That was a small window. He tried to thread the needle. And instead now we may get our first look at Grant Allen. Allen wears number 24, 14 of 21 on the season. Bo, he's connected from 46.
This one will be a little less than that. They'll place it on about the 14-yard line, left-footed kicker.
So the lefty will try to split the uprights. Good snap, good hold, but the kick is no good.
And Webb City holds. How about that, Corey?
That is a big-time stop on the opening drive when, if you were just joining us, the way Platte County marched down the field, it looked like they were going to get about 6 minutes off the clock and end with 6 points. Instead, the Cardinals will take over with their backs up against their own end zone here. A little breathing room as the ball will come back out to the 20 after the attempted field goal. So no points on the board for Platte County. The owners of 14 state championships since 1989 will get their first offensive possession. The standard split back veer. The quarterback will keep it that time, and he will get crushed in the backfield. Buried by the Pirates, Garrett Watson, their defensive end. Just nowhere to go that time for Cade Hicks.
How about the play by Watson there? His assignment was on the backside to take the quarterback. He does it brilliantly.
Sack number 17 on the season for one of the defensive standouts for the Pirates. So second down and 11. Double tight end, 2 wide receivers. Give is to the first man through, spinning around and gaining positive yardage that time up the middle for the Cardinals. It is Weathers. The offensive starters for Webb City looks like this. Goltra, Wilson, Belcher, Ott, and Meister are your 5-man offensive line. McAllister, the wide receiver. McKee and Clinton are the tight ends. The quarterback is Cade Hicks. And the running backs are Kabbalah and Weathers. Weathers on that carry, his first of the game. Third down and 3 now. Twins to the left.
Weathers with 1,300 yards on the season.
Option to the far side now, stepping in and around, and this will all be determined on the spot as Weathers got upended. Looked like they needed to get across the 20. You're going to have another fourth down and short situation here. First time for Platte County. Now the Cardinals have to decide what they're going to do on fourth and short, and not really in great field position here.
And they're going to go for it. Let's see if Platte County can stop them.
On 4th and 1, the Cardinals will get the yardage and then some. The give to Kabbalah, and he pounds the ball forward for a Webb City first down. Kabbalah, 1,000-yard rusher who averages 9.5 yards per carry. They only needed 1.
Well, here's the other thing, Corey. With the offense that they run, fourth and short really is no worry for them. And they showed you why right there. The offensive line does its job, and they get out there and get a good chunky yardage.
Dive play forward, brings the ball all the way out toward midfield. A gain of 8 that time for Kabbalah as he gets the ball again. John Roderick, 23 years with Webb City, an alum of Pittsburgh State University. The king of the mountaintop as far as state championship winning high school football coaches. Pete Atkins, Bo was the gold standard for so many years at Jeff City with 9 championships. Roderick now with 11. Quarterback keeper here off the left side. The defense bit on the first 2 fakes. And that made it easy sledding for Cade Hicks to move the chains for Webb.
Good job by Hicks as they had run consecutive dive plays for positive yardage. They run the same formation, and this time he tucks it and runs and picks up the first down.
Defensively for the Pirates tonight, their defensive line consists of Garrett Watson, Alex Stearns, Keaton Smith, and James Gladden. A linebacking core of Hay, Harmon, Scott. The corners Tyson and Mitchell. The safeties Cup and Ruckert. Webb City now flips the ball out to the near side. Cale McAllister makes the first reception of the game for the Webb City Cardinals.
And that's the other thing. You think they're going to run, and then they flip a quick pass out on you. But good sound tackling there by the Pirates. This is how important it was to score on that opening drive. You missed the opportunity to get points, and now here come the Cardinals as we're, under 3 minutes to go here in the first.
McAllister's team-leading 25th reception of the season. They will flex a back out, single back now behind Cade Hicks. Hicks rolls to his left, looks for somebody to option to, and he's got to do it on his own as he'll be tackled down inside the 20-yard line that time. Oh, that looked like that may have been a broken play. because he sure looked hard left.
And he's talking to the coaches right now saying, hey, where did we mess that one up? But you're right. He looked for that option pitch, and it's a good thing he didn't pitch it because it would have been on the carpet or out of bounds.
That's right. 15 yards on the carry for the quarterback of the Cardinals. 1st and 10 now from inside the 20-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side of the formation. Hicks will call his own number again, dances to the right, breaks it out to the left, and will walk into the end zone for a Webb City touchdown. 19 yards on the run for Cade Hicks.
And what a job by Hicks to go inside and then outside. And once he broke to the second level, he was gone. Nobody was going to touch him. That's an 80-yard touchdown drive in 9 plays, culminated by this. Follows his blockers, sees the opening, and then hits pay dirt.
The 12th rushing touchdown of 2019 for Cade Hicks, and Webb City strikes first. PAT try is on the way, and it is good, and Webb City leads this one here with 2:12 to go in quarter number 1, 7-0. And Bo, if you're Platte County, you are going to wonder now for the next few series, did coming up empty-handed on that opening drive, is that going to come back to haunt them later in this game?
Absolutely. And now you got to come back and you got to do it again. You got to prove that you can do it again against this Cardinal defense. But this time you have to come up with points because you and I know, Corey, if you're chasing Webb City, it is a tough road to hoe.
Well, just like you and I had the pleasure of calling the Class II championship game earlier today between the Ava Bears and the Crusaders of Lutheran North. Once that Lutheran North offense got rolling, Ava had opportunities early, but boy, once the Crusaders got it going, it was going to be tough sledding, and they ended up getting shut out in that game, did the Ava Bears. These two teams met in a state semifinal in 2017. The halftime score, Bo, was 7-0 Webb City. The final 21-18. This was a highly contested state semifinal just 2 years ago. So you've got kids, coaches, staff on both sidelines that remember that game very well.
And I would imagine if you're Webb City right now, you're feeling pretty good about that drive. Started on your own 20, ends up in the end zone, and took 9 plays with a good mix of pass and run.
Kick fielded inside the 5-yard line, sets up for a big return here. Cutting it back against the grain and breaking out to daylight is Dayton Mitchell before he's finally corralled short of the 40-yard line. That time, Webb City getting the stop. Dylan Harlan, a 5'11 senior.
Good tackle there, too, because if he doesn't make it, it could be to the house. But a good return and, again, some positive momentum for Platte County.
If you have not noticed yet, both these teams, a luxury that a lot of teams in the state don't always have. They platoon. Starters on offense don't play defense unless absolutely necessary.
That's
and the
right.
same goes for the defensive starters. 1st and 10 for Runke and company. They cross him up this time. Short run off the right side. Will net about a 2-yard gain. The bottom of the pile that time for the Webb City defense was Ruben Linker.
I believe that was Caden Davis on the carry. And that's the first time we've seen a minimal gain on first down by the Pirates.
Platte County out of the Suburban Blue Conference in the Kansas City area. Told you 3 state championships in their trophy case. All those were under head coach Chip Sherman. Wide open pass, and Runke misses the target. That time as his running back Davis had leaked out of the backfield, and nobody on the Cardinal defense picked him up.
If that ball is put into his breadbasket, he's running for a first down at least. He was wide open. A great play design, just poor execution.
Runke here in the early going, 2 of 5 for 16 yards so far running the offense for Coach Oots.
And that, Corey, was a time where he needed a little more finesse on that pass rather than the fastball.
Yeah, we've seen the fastball. Sometimes you got to just put a little bit more air under it, especially when you're trying to hit a back out of the backfield. 3rd and long, over the middle. This one's wide open, and that one is on the money for a Pirate first down. Right into the heart of that Cardinal defense, and they move the chains. Colby Rollins wears number 82. He comes wide open. That's his first catch of the night.
And Rollins found the middle of the defense, the opening there, and if he doesn't stutter step, he may have taken it all the way.
Another completed pass to Dayton Mitchell. Mitchell now with 2 catches on the night so far. As you take a look at the coaching staff down the Platte County sideline.
And it seems to me, Corey, that through the air is the way to go for the Pirates. They've had a lot of success through the passing game.
Webb City had to go up against one of the better passing teams in the state to get here, the Camdenton Lakers. There is a good tackle holding Caden Davis back that time for Webb City is Thompson, big 99, the nose guard. Camdenton, Bo, and you've been around as long as I have. Under Bob Shore, that was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Jeff Shore is the coach now, Bob's son. They went to this air raid offense, and their quarterback put up some of the best numbers in the state.
And if you're not used to seeing that and playing it, which you're not usually in high school football, when you have to go up against it, it's really something and a big test for your defensive backs.
That's why if you're a Webb City defensive coach right now, you're probably looking back to the plays that were successful against the Lakers. They break, contain, Runke has to run. Nearly another late hit there. Webb City's defender pulling his hands back, making sure that the flag doesn't come out. That time as Runke is ran out of bounds by Sergio Perez. That will be the final play of quarter number 1. A rapid first quarter of play here at Faurot Field in the Class 4 championship game of Show Me Bowl 2019. Our score, Webb City 7, Platte County nothing here on Misha.tv. Start a second quarter action here at Columbia, Show Me Bowl 2019. Platte County, after moving the chains on the final play of quarter number 1, tries to get the offense rolling here, but we will have a penalty before we get started.
Looked like a false start on one of the wideouts.
Oh, and that's one of those can't do it's. Coaches, a false start on your offensive lineman's one thing, but the wide receiver, you're just supposed to look down the line. You move when the ball gets snapped.
And so it'll be first down and long, and it's the second time we've seen Platte County get into Webb City territory and have a 5-yard penalty.
Pretty clean first quarter. There's another ball thrown high that time. Dayton Mitchell trying to pull that one in, but good coverage that time by the Webb City secondary. They're starting to catch up with these Pirate wide receivers a little bit.
And they're starting to diagnose the plays a little bit, so they know that the ball's going to come out quick, and the safeties and even some of the cornerbacks are doing a good job of recognizing where the ball's going to go and closing quickly.
Davis joins the junior quarterback Runke in the backfield. Still 15 yards to go. Now second down. Webb City shows blitz, rushes 4. They will flush Runke out of the pocket again. Running to his left. He'll be pushed out of bounds. That time by the Cardinals' Jason Smith.
That's a good job by Runke to escape the pocket. The one thing I'd like to see him do is when he gets near the line of scrimmage, maybe a little pump fake like he's going to throw it can lead to more yards, but this brings up another third and very long for Platte County and another good drive where you got to wonder if they're going to get some points.
Platte County is 2 of 4 so far in the game on third down conversions. This one, though, 3rd and 13, ball sitting on the 32-yard line. 5 receivers out in the formation. Runke, deep ball over the top. It will fall incomplete as, again, he targets Dayton Mitchell. Mitchell with 2 catches for 16 yards, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And you're kind of in the no man's land here where you don't really necessarily want to punt it. And it's probably too long for a field goal in high school.
No, I disagree. It's going to set up for about a 49-yard field goal. And Grant Allen is hit from 46. So if he connects on this, it would be his long of the season. But if I was Webb City, I would have a safety back, and they do, just in case maybe Coach Utes has a trick play up his sleeve. The lefty sends this one. I don't think that one's got enough. It does not. It falls underneath the crossbar, and the Webb City defense holds. The field goal attempt missed by Grant Allen on his 22nd attempt of the season.
And I guess really no harm done there because the ball goes back to the 20-yard line. And so it's almost the same as a punt touchback.
You're absolutely right.
So, and he had the accuracy on that one. It was just probably about 3 yards short.
Yep, he was straight down Broadway,
but again, no points.
Yep. Single back in the backfield this time for Webb City. Hicks will keep it himself, breaks through one arm tackle, has a first down and more as he nears midfield, finally dragged down by the Pirates as he crosses toward the 45-yard line. And right now the best offensive weapon that the Cardinals have had so far, Bo, is their quarterback, Cade Hicks, now with 5 carries and over 60 yards on the ground. Webb City fans have to like what they see out of their quarterback.
There is a flag down on the field.
They snuck that one in on me. Flag right in front of the Webb City sidelines, and this one's coming back.
But you're right. I mean, Cade Hicks has been the ball carrier. They're so worried about the inside dive to Kabbalah that they're forgetting about Hicks.
Block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty to steal first down.
So a great run by Hicks, wiped off the board by a block in the back for the 13-1 Webb City Cardinals. 10:50 to go until halftime here in Columbia. 7-0 your score. The Cardinals with the lead and the ball.
All in all, that's a 12-yard gain.
Hicks now barks out his cadence. Long snap count that time. They give it up the middle, and breaking away is Kabbalah. Around with one man to beat, he's finally pulled down on about the 23-yard line. Told you he averages almost 10 yards a carry, Bo. That time he broke it wide open.
How about that run by Kabbalah? Up the middle, stays on his feet, keeps the feet driving, and then spins out. And they're going to mark him out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. He's going to say he stepped out of bounds there.
Over 30 yards on the carry that time. For the Cardinals' second leading rusher, as you see it one more time here on the replay. Will Hay, the linebacker for Platte County, tried to make a diving stop on Kabbalah and came up empty-handed. First down play, Hicks again, another great fake. He is driven out of bounds as he continues to move the offense down the field. And when you go up against an option team or a team that runs the veer the way Webb City does, you know it's all about assignment football. Somebody's got the dive man, somebody's got the pitch man, and somebody's got the quarterback. Right now, they are somehow losing Cade Hicks because he is chewing up the Platte County defense.
And it's on the left side. Every run for Hicks has been to his right. They're not coming this way towards us this quarter. They're going the far way. And there's a little conference over there, it looks like maybe they...
Did we break the chain?
I think they may have broken the chain. Up at the top of your screen there. And looks like everything's good. But yeah, another first down, and now the ball's on the 16-yard line. And so far, Corey, if Webb City punches this ball in, you're going to say both teams are driving the ball, but one's punching it in the end zone.
One's tried to settle for a field goal, but has come up empty-handed. Hicks again, tiptoes to his right, cuts it back to the left, dives headlong toward the 10-yard line. He'll be marked down at the 11. They are still working on the chains over on the far side. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 after the quarterback carry for Cade Hicks, who's closing in on 100 yards rushing here in the first half.
Yeah, he's got 7 carries for 90 yards, and he's had some called back on penalty.
Think they got it. That little SEC logo at the top. 2nd down now, motion man to the far side of the formation. This time the give up the middle, and it'll be another Webb City touchdown as plowing through the defense that time was Weathers.
How about the blocking up front, Corey? Just a straight up the middle run by Weathers, and he rides the wave into the end zone, and it's a touchdown and 13-0.
Weathers collects touchdown number 19 on the ground this season. And give credit to the big guys up front. Grant Goldtrup, Braden Wilson, Buddy Belcher, Ethan Ott, Mr. Meister. The big guys up front getting it done. The PAT is good, and Webb City leads 14-0.
Take another look here, and you just see him driving the legs, keeping his pad level low and running over players. The Pirates unable to bring him down before he goes the 11 yards for the touchdown. And another 80-yard drive.
Another 80-yard drive. This is a defense for Platte County, too, Bo, that has got a ton of talent. Garrett Watson, their defensive end, is up for defensive lineman of the year in the Kansas City area. He's a conference player of the year. Alex Stearns, their defensive tackle, has made a ton of awards. These are good defensive players right now that have not found an answer to slow down Webb City on their first 2 drives.
And Coach Oots told us on the phone this week, he said, you know what, Webb City, we view them as the gold standard. This is who we need to beat to be on the top, no matter if it's this year or going forward. We know that Webb City is out there. Well, they've moved the ball. They've gone up and down the field, and then they stall, and they're 0 for 2 in the kicking game. And Webb City's moved the ball and hit pay dirt both times, and that's the difference. This could be a 14-14 game. Instead, it's 14-0.
You're absolutely right. A bouncing kick fielded at the 5-yard line. The return is on for Mitchell. He crosses the 20 and gets tripped up by one of the special teamers for the Cardinals. That time, an excellent individual effort by Ruben Linker, the 6-foot senior.
And here comes Platte County, and they have to score on this drive, Corey.
You kind of feel like it's one of those make-or-break moments. 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Got to put points on the board.
There's a lot of ball game left. They're fine that way, but you and I agree. This is a big drive right here. You got to stay in this game with a good offensive drive.
It's a Platte County offense that scored over 361 points this season. Webb City's offense in 2019 scored 615. The junior back in the gun. Looks left, looks right, over the middle. It is caught and held on to. Wow, what a grab by Colby Rollins.
Rollins goes up and knows he's going to get hit, catches it, and hangs on as he comes to the ground. And a big first down. Take another look here. Over the middle, puts his hand up in the air, and then he's hit, and he hangs on to it. Beautiful catch.
His 34th catch of the year. The Pirates go back to the ground, and there is nowhere to run that time for Davis as he is snowed under by Braden Bond, the Cardinal defensive end.
And a good job by Bond, and we've been calling his name a lot so far, Corey, and He's doing a heck of a job. After initially Webb City struggled with the run, they've sort of found their footing now, haven't they?
Yet they have. I'm not sure if the plan is try to take Caden Davis away and make Runke beat you with his arm. But right now it'll probably be Runke's arm on 2nd and 13. He will check it down out of the backfield. That player is not down yet. He's finally taken down. That time it was Trey Fawn. He wears number 2. Runke found his man, but the defense found him quick too.
And Runke got that ball out in a hurry. It's just the defense closed, and now it's another 3rd and long from their own 33 for the Pirates.
Runke is 6 of 11 through the air for 56 yards. Platte County 2 of 5 on their 3rd down conversion so far.
10 seconds on the play clock.
No, it's going to be a timeout, my friend.
I kind of thought it was going that way, didn't you?
Yeah, it just went down too far. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Platte County has slowed the offense down a little bit here. I thought they had more success on the opening drive when they were going no huddle tempo and not allowing Webb an opportunity to make substitutions on the defensive side.
Yeah, you're right, Corey. And they know they had to call this timeout because, again, they know how vital this is. I mean, it's 14-0. It's 3rd and 14. They know that they need a first down here. If they punt it back to Webb City and Webb City goes in and scores, 21-0 is pretty large even in the second quarter.
This offense for Platte County can score, though. Over the last 5 years, this offense has averaged 35 points per game. I mean, this is an offense that knows how to go north and south and get to the end zone. They are trying to make their way to that brand new multi-million-dollar expansion in the south end zone here at Faroe Field with the huge video board on top of it. They are staring right into that big video board. Here is Runke and company on 3rd and long. Play action over the middle. It is incomplete. No flags that time as the coverage was provided by Gavin Serber.
That was great coverage by Serber. There was a couple of people who came up and thought there'd be a flag, but I thought the coverage was really, really good.
I was pausing there looking for a thrown flag because it was a kind of to borrow another baseball term, a bang-bang play.
Yeah.
The contact was there, but it was after the ball was within reach. So they will punt this one away. Grant Allen, the kicker, also the punter. Low wobbly kick will bounce, fielded at the 29-yard line, and Webb City is not going to get anything on this return.
Good coverage.
Great coverage by Platte County, giving Cade Wilson, the sophomore, nowhere to go. He backs up. That's where the Cardinals will take over with 7:33 remaining until the intermission.
And this is danger time now if you're Platte County, and really you got to ask your defense, hey, we have to have a stop. We can't let them march up and down the field. We have to have a stop here and get the ball back. And if you're Webb City, you just keep on keeping on. I wouldn't even worry about throwing the ball. Keep it on the ground. I think Cade Hicks has made some great decisions. Kabbalah proves he's tough. Just keep it on the ground.
Split backs behind Hicks. He'll give to the first man through this time. Good yardage on first down for Dylan Harlan, a 5'11 senior, 170 pounds.
That's the problem with Webb City. There's so many weapons. I mean, if it's not Weathers, it's Harlan. If it's not Harlan, it's Kabbalah. And if it's not any of them, it's a keeper by Hicks around the end.
Mekhi Gerard comes in at wide receiver now for the Cardinals. He is flexed out to the near side of the field. Double tight with two backs. Five-man defensive front for the Pirates in a 5-3 look, trying to cut down on the run. But Webb City still able to get positive yardage. This is apparently Harlan's series. So he gets another carry, but there's a flag down. The yardage was going to be enough for a Cardinal first down, but we'll have to wait for what Joe Polker has to say. Personal foul, leading with the helmet that time by the defense. Want to listen in here, make sure there's not a targeting call involved.
Personal foul. Illegal helmet contact on the defense. First down.
That has been a hot button topic, Bo,
Yep.
for the last 2 seasons. It's argued at the NFL level. What's a targeting call? It's argued at the college level, and it's argued at this level of football as well.
They're all trying to do it for the precaution and keep kids safe, but sometimes it gives you 15 yards, and that's 15 big ones there.
Hicks slings this one, and it is going to be picked off. The Pirates pick the Cardinals QB. That time the ball is grabbed by Trent Ruckert. Ruckert's 6th interception of the season.
And how about the field awareness and the ball awareness by Ruckert? Went up like a wide receiver to catch it over his shoulder. As we watch it again, I don't necessarily like the throw from Hicks. He just threw it up in the air and way overthrew his receiver. But Ruckert is there. That is an unbelievable catch and really a play that Platte County needed.
The 4th interception that Hicks has thrown this season, and it breathes new life into the Platte County Pirates as they've got the ball back with plenty of time to cut this differential in half going into halftime.
And that could prove to be a big play. If Platte County can go down and get a touchdown and it's 14-7 at half, we got a different ball game than we thought we might have.
The center, Siegel, snaps it back. Nowhere to go. Finally, a receiver comes open. Nobody tackles him the first time. Bo, there were 3 Cardinals there. They all hit the receiver, but he kept going. Nobody wrapped him up and form tackled him. Donnie McCush able to get good yardage and move the chains on first down.
And let's see if the Pirates go back to that tempo that they had success with, so Webb City couldn't substitute freely as they have been able to here on the last couple of drives.
That is the 5th different receiver that Runke has connected with here in the first half of play. Back on the ground to Davis. Minimal gain there. Picks up 2, almost 3 yards on first down. And the clock continues to roll. Coach Utes was so positive about his players this week in our conference call. Bo was bragging on his center, Luke Siegel, a 32 ACT kid playing center on this team. Their guard, Kevin Fagan, is probably going to end up at West Point.
Yep.
Not only is this a good offensive line, but there are some bright guys on this offensive line.
No doubt about it. And when you can keep your quarterback clean, he can make good throws, or he can pick up yards with his feet.
He's on the run here, breaks left, back right, and throws this one away. And you want to talk about smarts, that's a smart play by the junior quarterback as he throws it down, but there is a flag in the backfield down on the 16-yard line.
Could that possibly be intentional grounding?
Can't be. Well, I've been wrong before, but
wasn't he out of the pocket?
He was, but there's 2 parts of that rule. He was out of the pocket, yes, but there was no one in the zip code of where he threw the ball.
True.
You've got to get it at least close to somebody, and there was nobody that wasn't wearing white, Columbia blue, and red. So
Intentional grounding on the offense. Walk down. 3rd down.
that's what makes that penalty such a killer. Not very many penalties in high school football that come with a loss of down, but intentional grounding does, so back them up, take the down. It's 3rd and 24. Shotgun. Runke, another touch pass, and he just airmails that one out of bounds to his sideline. Webb City with 2 men in coverage that time, as Serber and McAllister both had the intended target for Chris Runke covered up.
And I think Runke's getting a little bit aggravated. You can see it just a little bit. He's walking to the sideline fine, but, you know, you think that he's made a decent play by throwing it away, but then he's reminded, hey, you got to have at least somebody over there that you're trying to throw to.
The Platte County 2 Sports star, Allen, punts this one away, fielded on the fly at the 35-yard line, back across the 20, inside the 20 that time by the Cardinals, Devin Weathers.
And Weathers takes it inside the 20. He read that punt perfectly, caught it on the full sprint, and was by 2 defenders right away. And just like that, the Cardinals are in business. And that's why that penalty is so big. It backs up Platte County. The punt's got to come out of the end zone. And now all of a sudden, here you're setting up at the 18.
Webb City only has to go 18 yards here with 5:16 to play. Long snap count this time for Hicks. He finally pulls the trigger, gives it to the first man through, down at the goal line, and they're going to call him down at the 1 as the give once again went to Dylan Harlan.
He's down at the last second possible. I did not think that they got him down.
Trevor Scott on the stop for Platte County. First and goal from the 1, thinking quarterback keeper. Nope. Hicks will hand it off, and it's a 1-yard walk-in for Kabbalah.
And just like that, Kabbalah's got the touchdown, and it's 20-0 Webb City. How on that penalty this game changed back to Webb City?
Say the loss of down and the loss of yardage, very costly against Platte County. Callegos, the kicker. Good snap, good hold. The PAT is up and through, and it's 21-0. Webb City looking for an unprecedented 15 state championships in the sport of football, Bo. Right now, the Cardinals currently sit tied with Valley Catholic as the 2 teams with the most football state championships in the history of high school football in the state of Missouri. Valley Catholic and Webb City both with 14. Webb playing right now with a 21-point lead. You will have a chance to call the Class 1 championship tomorrow afternoon when Valley Catholic will go for their 15th state title.
I was going to say, if Webb City can hang on for another half, they may have it for a night.
About 16 hours maybe?
I would imagine Lincoln will have something to say about that, but yeah, I mean, you want to talk about gold standards. Those 2 programs, they're here a lot. They know how to play in the championship game. They know how to play in their powder blue pants here, Corey.
Yes, they do. Kick on the way, another good one. Will take it back all the way to the 2-yard line now. Mitchell bringing the ball up the near side, and he will step out of bounds on about the 28. He is fun to watch, Mitchell, whether it's lining up a wide receiver on these kick and punt returns. I get a feeling with him, Bo, that at some point in time he may break one tonight.
Absolutely, and we may see him on an end around or something like that just to get him into space. That was a nice return. Took it about the 2, found a seam and returned it 24 yards. But again, we've been saying it for the last 3 drives. This is almost a must for Platte County to score. They have 4:53 to go, and they have to get points on this drive.
Quick throw to the near side, unloaded by Runke, caught along the out of bounds that time by Donnie McCush.
Good pitch and catch there. McCush getting out into space, and that's what they need. The Pirates need these plays that will go for 5 or 6 yards.
His 25th catch this season. Mitchell, of course, leads the Pirates with over 60. They'll give to Davis. He'll test the left side of the line, but the Cardinals are there to deny the Platte County running back. That was that defensive front for Webb just shifting to the right. Trenton Thompson was there. Perez was there. No gain will bring up 3rd down and 3.
And on that one, Davis had success on the first couple of drives with his running lanes, and ever since they've been shut down. And here comes a very critical 3rd and 3. And if I'm Runke, I'm thinking about keeping on a quarterback keeper here.
3rd down, bounces up. It falls into the hands of another Pirate. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. You got to be kidding me. Somebody call Sports Center. What just happened?
The first receiver, I believe that was Mitchell, wasn't even looking, and it hit him, and then let's take a look.
And it bounces back to McCush.
He barely gets turned around, and McCush comes and gathers it. What a way to get a first down, a much-needed first down.
That was right off the left shoulder pad of Dayton Mitchell, and it somehow ends up in the hands of McCush. Big play right up the middle that time. Trey Fawn, the running back. Change of pace back here for Platte County as they move the chains again. 3:37 to go until halftime, and the Pirates are pushing ahead.
And that was a good run by Fawn, and as you said, a little change-up from Davis. And one thing I'm keeping my eye on is Davis was a little banged up earlier, and maybe that's what's slowing him down.
Fawn tries to get to the outside. The pursuit way too good that time, though, from the Cardinals, as they are able to hold him in check. Matthew McDaniel in on the stop for Webb City.
And so was Gavin Serber, a guy who we've been really calling his name tonight.
No gain on the play, second down.
Interesting, too, here, Corey, with under 3 minutes to go. If you're Platte County, you do want to score, but you probably don't want to leave Webb City a ton of time left on the clock.
Oh, absolutely not. Right now, though, Platte County's just thinking about how they can get to the end zone. That ball is tipped and will fall incomplete. That one may have been batted down right at the line of scrimmage.
I think it was, because it looked like one of the receivers took a lick because the defensive back saw that ball was tipped.
Colby Rollins, the 6'2", 200-pound junior, was the closest receiver to it as that one was batted up and in the air. Stops the clock with 2:37 to go here in quarter number 2.
And again, we haven't seen Davis in the last 4 or 5 plays. I do see him on the sideline. He was testing out a foot earlier.
Third and long now. Runke, good protection that time, brings it back across the middle. Another ball tipped up in the air, and almost another circus catch, Bo.
And 2 Pirates in the area, they couldn't come down with it, but Runke's pass that time just a little bit off the mark. And good job by Webb City. Give the Cardinals defenders credit. They're getting hands on the football and causing these incompletions, and now it's time for another punt.
Grant Allen will come out to punt again. We told you a 2-sport star at Platte County. Part of the soccer team that went to the finals this year. They lost 2-1 in overtime to Rockwood Summit, but he had an assist on their lone goal.
I believe he scored in the semifinal win, too.
He did. He had a goal there, and now they're whistling the play dead back where the punt was fielded on the 24.
It looked to me like maybe the official thought he signaled for a fair catch.
I kind of thought I saw that too, but when he took off with it, I just assumed I was wrong, because that's usually the case. So,
but I'll tell you this much, Kabbalah didn't think he called for a fair catch.
Nope, he sold it.
Yeah.
Whether he did or didn't, they'll start this drive on the 24 with 2:23 to play. 5-man defensive front, 3 linebackers. Platte County trying to stop the run, and they do that time. 3 yards on the first down carry as the give was to Weathers. These numbers on these Webb City running backs are gaudy.
Yes, they are.
Weathers and Kabbalah both have over 1,000 yards rushing. They both have about 20 touchdowns now this season. And they both average close to 10 yards a carry.
And never mind Cade Hicks, who has 11 touchdowns rushing.
Yeah, not to mention, but he only averages like 6.5 yards a carry. It's better than that in this game. They'll option to the near side. Pitch back to the tail man. That time it's Harlan. He is finally ridden down that time by the defender, number 3, Colin Tyson.
And a good play by Tyson getting through the block and getting the tackle.
But not until Webb City gets enough for the first down.
And Hicks took a pretty big hit on that one right after he made the pitch.
Should point out that Webb City has played 2 quarterbacks this year. Cade Hicks is just playing in his 13th game. Eli Goddard has also seen significant time at quarterback. As a matter of fact, he's thrown more TD passes than Hicks has. First down, and the Pirates have this one sniffed out from the snap. No room to run that time for Weathers as he was stuffed by the Conference Player of the Year, Garrett Watson.
And a timeout by Webb City. They'll take their first timeout with 1:15 to go. Feeling like they're a couple of plays away, a couple of big plays away from maybe putting another score on this on the board before halftime.
You know, you just never know what you're going to see at a state championship football game, buddy.
Prehistoric times. With Corey and Bo on the call, it's prehistoric times.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a short arm joke, like I can't reach for my wallet when we go out to dinner later because I got those T-Rex arms.
We'll leave the paying the bills to Sydney.
She can handle that for us later. It'll be 2nd down and 6 after the timeout. Both teams coming back out onto the playing surface here at Faurot Field. The second of our 2 football championship games tonight on Misha.tv. Earlier today, the Crusaders of Lutheran North High School won the Class 2 championships. If you haven't seen enough football on Misha.tv tonight, come back tomorrow. It's a triple header. Little crossbuck in the backfield. Getting out on a scamper is Weathers as he crosses midfield with 1:09 to go.
And there's one of the big plays we're talking about. Taking it straight up the gut, got a full head of steam, and really was just knocked off his feet. Otherwise, I think he was going.
Weathers went for 4 yards on the last carry, goes for 16 on that carry. Now the clock winds again. Hicks will give to Kabbalah. He pushes the pile forward, gets to the 35-yard line, and the Cardinals will utilize their second timeout. Pirates have 2 timeouts remaining in the half. Webb City now will be down to their final timeout after the 8-yard gain by Kabbalah.
And interesting here, Corey, they have not thrown the football yet. This has been all on the ground, even though time is of the essence.
Cade Hicks is 1 for 2 in the game with a 5-yard completion and an interception, which technically means he's perfect. Both the balls he's thrown has been caught.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just one time it was by the wrong team. Webb City now on the ground, 22 rushes for 236 yards. Platte County has thrown it 18 times for 82 yards. Their run game has just never got on track, really. They've got fewer yards than they've had rushes, 15 carries for 14 yards.
And now if you're Platte County on the defense, I think the secondary's got to be wary because they've been running, and the Cardinals can now tuck it and maybe try to hit you over the top.
Hicks with Kabbalah and Weathers behind him. See the Cardinal running back down in the 3-point stance behind their quarterback. They send a man in motion. It will be a play-action pass to Kabbalah. Rounds the right edge, gets knocked out of bounds after picking up the first down.
That was a good play there.
And now there's a late flag. I'm afraid this is going to be against Platte County, as Trevor Scott was pleading his case on the far sideline.
I think it was a late hit.
See what Mr. Polker has to say about this. Of course, that's not really fair. There's 3 Polkers out there.
Oh, unsportsmanlike conduct. You cannot have.
I was afraid it may have been something that was said and not done, and that looks to be the case.
Absolutely. Coach Oots wants to hear about it on the sideline.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, one of those penalties that you cannot have when you're upside down on the scoreboard. That will be the 5th penalty levied against Platte County for 40 yards. The Cardinals have been penalized twice to the tune of 18 yards so far here in the first half.
Now the clock stops, 41 seconds to go, and Webb City is back in the red zone.
Ball spotted on the 16. Twins to the near side of the formation. Eli Goddard in at quarterback now. Goddard back to pass, has a man wide open. Can he break a tackle? He does. Weathers winds his way in for 6.
What a terrific play design by the Cardinals. They have everybody going to the left, including the quarterback. And he turns around, and Weathers is out there by himself on the right, wide open. Take a look here. Everybody looks to the left, quarterback back to the right, and there it is. 1 tackle broken and a touchdown.
How much confidence do you have to have in your kids to say, I'm going to bring in a quarterback cold off the bench with barely any time on the clock and go, we got time for 1 or 2 more plays. Go heave it up in the air. See what happens. That's exactly what John Roderick does, and Goddard delivers. A 16-yard touchdown pass to Weathers to make it 28-0 now after the extra point is good. The Webb City cheerleaders have something to cheer about. The Webb City student section has something to cheer about as their Cardinals are now up 4 scores on the Pirates of Platte County.
And let's not forget, Corey, that this could be a double because Webb City gets the kickoff to start the 3rd quarter. And so Platte County really has its work cut out for it. I think right now you probably want to get to halftime, regroup, got to have a defensive stand and a quick score because, as you said, this team can score in a hurry. But they got to get to it. They've had sustained drives. They've had good-looking drives. They just have not been able to finish them off.
Both school special teams units on for what should be the final kick here of the first half after the Cardinals tack on 7 more. Perez will put the boot to this one. Short kick fielded at the 22, brought back to the near side. Running room up the near sideline. Finally being taken down on the return is Fawn. Dylan Harlan with the stop for the special teams of the Cardinals.
So 25 seconds and you're at your own 40-yard line with Runke, who we've seen can sling it. I think you try. I don't think you kneel it here.
Looking ladder?
Maybe.
I'd
like to see him try a fly pattern once. Just throw one deep, see what happens.
He's got 5 wide receivers, a 0 set. Webb will just rush 3. They break through the 5-man line. Runke running around. Looked like he stepped out of bounds momentarily. Is pulled down, though, as he crosses the 44-yard line.
I think they're going to call a timeout here. The only problem with that play is it took half of the clock.
Yep, down to 12 seconds is all they've got as they near midfield.
But I have to believe from, this would be 56 yards. I would imagine Runke can throw it up 56 yards for a Hail Mary attempt.
The arm strength that young man has, I wouldn't be entirely surprised by that.
And who knows? I mean, you probably don't want to do it on this play, but you get another chunk play, then you can try. You might get a pass interference.
Well, you maybe go for a 10 to 15-yard out here.
Sure.
And use the out of bounds, save the timeout, although you do have 1 timeout. You could go over the middle. But you've really got 1 play to set up the final play is all you've really got time for if you're the Pirates.
And if you're Webb City, you probably play the sidelines. If they want to throw it in the middle, let them throw it in the middle. Just make sure you make the tackle.
Cardinals will rush 3 again. Throw over to the far side. Falls incomplete that time. Bouncing off the fingertips of Hunter Clarkson, the 5'11 senior wideout.
And that throw was just a step behind Clarkson. And so he had to turn back across his body and try to catch that, and it just fell incomplete. Only took 4 seconds, so 8 seconds to go now. But it is, we should remember, 3rd and 6.
It is on the wrong side of the 50. Runke will get another shot here. Has a little bit of time, steps up into the pocket and is met. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks another tackle. Looking downfield, Runke's going to heave it down to the 20, and it is incomplete. What a wild play. 3 different Cardinals had a shot at the Pirates quarterback. He eluded every one of them, bought time with his feet, tried to get the ball downfield, but could not connect on the deep pass. That brings the first half of play to an end.
So here's the look at Runke breaking a tackle, breaking another, and then he gets out here where he has a chance, heaves it, and it was a very good throw, just not connecting. But a good throw, and that's the way our first half ends. Looked to me like that was number 82, Colby Rollins. Is that who you had on that, Corey?
Yep. Trying to get the ball to Colby Rollins. The Webb City Cardinals will walk up the stairs back to their locker room, steeped to a 28-point advantage at halftime here at Show Me Bowl 2019. 28-0 our score between the Cardinals and the Pirates. We will take a short break. When Bo and I come back, we'll run you through some of the first half numbers and take a look ahead to the second half of our Class 4 championship clash between the Cardinals and the Pirates, live and streaming right here on the new and improved Misha.tv. The Webb City High School Marching Band performs at halftime of the Missouri State High School Activities Association Show Me Bowl 2019. Your halftime score, the Webb City Cardinals lead the Platte County Pirates 28-0. Corey Riggs and Bo Bayman back with you high atop the press box here at Faroe Field. And Bo, when you look at the first half statistics, what kind of jumps off the board at you?
Well, no doubt about it. It's the Webb City rushing attack. 22 rushes, 236 yards. They only have 25 net passing yards. They don't need to pass the ball at all. Hicks has 90 yards rushing. Kabbalah 63. Weathers 47. Harlan 36. They're spreading the ball around. They're doing a great job of keeping the ball on the ground. And even though they're losing the time of possession, they're making the most of their possessions. They've had the ball, only one turnover, and 28 points. And there you see it, 236 rushing yards, 16 first downs to just 8 for Platte County.
Platte County, 16 rushes for 18 yards, 82 yards through the air for Runke. 9 completions on 20 attempts. He did not throw a pick, although there was a couple that were close. So total offense, 100 yards of total offense for the Pirates, 261 for Webb City. Individual numbers for the Pirates, Caden Davis, their leading rusher in the first half with 13 yards. Trey Fawn had 2 carries for 11 yards. Receiving, they hit 4, almost 5 different receivers. McCush with 3 catches for 26 yards. Colby Rollins, 2 catches for 35. Dayton Mitchell, their leading receiver, held to just 2 catches for 16 yards. And then Bo, the defensive numbers, Sergio Perez leading the way in tackles for Webb with 5. Colin Tyson and Garrett Watson both with 4 unassisted tackles in the first 2 quarters for Platte County.
And this is really uncharted territory in recent time for Platte County. They did lose a game to Ray-Pec back on October 11th, and the score was 47-7. They're not used to being behind by 4 scores. They're not used to giving up 4 scores, to be quite honest with you. When you look at their wins, they give up 6 points, 13 points, 17 points. They will have to have a big 3-and-out stop, and then the offense has got to go to work. They're capable. They have the numbers to prove it and to back up. That's how they got here. But they have a lot of work to do, and I mean a lot. When they've only scored 361 points, but they average 26 points per game, so they got to get to it. And they're going to have to, I think, Corey, force at least 2 turnovers here in the second half. They've got to get extra possessions where they can make sure that they come up with the ball more than Webb City has it.
And that has been a problem for the Cardinals this season. This is a defense that forced 29 turnovers for Webb City. They turned the ball over their offense 28 times. So you and I have done a couple of games now where we're seeing teams that have turned the ball over, like Lutheran North, played 14 games this year, only turned the ball over 13 times. Webb City has had problems putting the ball on the turf. If Platte County is able to force them into some of those mistakes in the second half, it would help them drastically as they try to climb back up the mountain here to try and catch up and get out of the 28-point hole that they currently find themselves in. Webb City celebrating not only a lead, but a historic milestone in that state semifinal win that they got over Ladue Horton Watkins, the team out of St. Louis that ended the Cardinals season last year. That was the 100th playoff win in program history for the Cardinals. Not very many high school football programs that can claim that many postseason wins.
And ironically, that was a 35-0 win. So that means at least 6 quarters now of shutout ball by Webb City. Let's see, the quarterfinal game against Camdenton, they gave up 34 in that shootout, 62-34. But the defense has really buckled in here in the semifinals and so far in this championship game of the Show Me Bowl against Platte County. And when you want to win a title, you got to play defense, and they have been. They've been very impressive on both sides of the football, just doing what they do. They weren't rattled when Platte County went down twice in a row. They drive down and drive down. One is a missed field goal. One is a field goal that sort of served as a punt, was a little bit short. But no worries by Webb City. They just go back to what they do. And I have to give a lot of credit to Cade Hicks. He's doing a great job. He's not throwing the ball. He doesn't have to. He's doing a great job running the show.
But how about the call by the coaching staff to take Hicks out when they're trying to run their 2-minute offense? They're down close. You know that a pass play might catch the Pirates defensively off guard, and you bring in stone cold off the bench Eli Goddard and say, go in and sling it. He does, and his receiver on that play, Weathers, does the rest, takes it in for the touchdown.
It's interesting, too, in retrospect. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. But if you're Platte,
there's nothing about my vision that's 20/20
that's true.
anymore.
If you see that the quarterback has changed, maybe you call a timeout there. Just thinking out loud and saying, maybe this is the guy who comes in and slings it. Let's change our defense a little bit. Don't get caught up in the running game. But, again, hindsight is 20/20, and now it's 28-0 in favor of Webb City. As we take a listen to the Platte County band.
Yep, Webb City Marching Band performed earlier in the halftime. The closing moments of halftime, the Pirate Marching Band taking the field and performing facing toward their stands on the home side here. Remember the schedule for tomorrow. 3 games on the docket for you on December 7th at 11 a.m. It'll be the Class 3 game between Odessa and Cassville. By the way, a show of solidarity from the Southwest Missouri teams. The Cassville Wildcats in the stands for the first half earlier, sitting on the Webb City side, supporting another Ozarks area team. At 3 o'clock, it will be Valley Catholic taking on Lincoln in the Class 1 championship game. And at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Class 5, Carthage and Jackson to close the book on the 2019 high school football season here in the Show Me State. You can find all of that live right here on Mission.tv. You've got the opportunity to download an MP4. You can watch the broadcasts online live as they happen. Get all of that for just $10, mshsaa.tv. That way you can have your little piece of state championship football history, if you will.
And keep it forever.
As long as your hard drive doesn't crash. 28-0 our score here at Faroe Field. Bo and I will be back with more after this. University of Missouri Columbia is the site of Show Me Bowl 2019. Halftime here in the Class 4 championship between Webb City and Platte County. The Pirates trail the Cardinals in this one 28-0. Great job by both of the bands come out here tonight. Most marching bands want to be done when your calendar turns to December, Bo, but coming out and performing for all of the fans in attendance. Great crowd on hand tonight. The Platte County folks have showed out. I think they even brought kind of some Pittsburgh Steeler-esque terrible towels.
Yes.
Theirs are orange, not yellow, mind
Right.
you. And Webb City always brings a good crowd. Last one out of town turns off the lights. I saw on social media earlier today the Cardinals had to send off around 10 a.m. as their team loaded up the buses and made their way to Columbia. Now as their team makes their way from the locker room back onto the field, led out by their coaching staff and enjoying a 28-point advantage.
You know, it's interesting, Corey. This in early December in Columbia is about the best weather you can ask for today and tomorrow. And when we talk to the coaches all week, the stories that we heard from the semifinals with the weather last week, whether it was rain, whether it was wet field, whether it was wind, weather was a major factor last week in the semifinals. This week, not so much. I mean, these championship games are going to be decided on the field, and that's always what you want to see when you come outdoors in the first week in December. You never know what you can get. Last year we were here and it was freezing cold.
It was brutally cold.
And this year, not too bad. I mean,
No.
This is a perfect night for football, and tomorrow sets up to be a very nice day for football as well.
Just now getting down close to the freezing mark as Bo and I are spoiled. We're inside a broadcast booth with the windows closed. 33 degrees outside right now with that breeze blowing in.
And
But-
surprisingly, this is the coldest it's been
Yeah.
this week.
It's a clear night, cold. You can see the lights on top of the Mizzou Arena from our broadcast position. Norm Stewart Classic going on, 48 hours of basketball right down the street from us here. Webb City out on the field. Platte County now has taken their position in their end zone to try and get warm. And, Bo, we talked about this during the commercial break. We haven't brought it up on air. This does not happen very often. We've told you about what happened last weekend in the 8-man and the Class 6 championship when we've laid out the schedule for this weekend. But we did not point out, if you remove the 8-man championship and just look at it classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the southwest corner of the state did something unprecedented this year. They placed a team in every championship game in every class. Going from 1 to 6, Lincoln, then Ava, who fell earlier today to Lutheran North, Cassville, Webb City, Carthage, and the Joplin Eagles.
And 3 teams from one conference. 3 teams from one conference all made state championship games in different classes. That is incredible. And one of them we're watching right now with the 28-0 lead. And they didn't even win their conference.
No, it was Joplin's year this year. Of course, they suffered the tragedy early on in the year, the death of a player, Caden Roberts Day, who collapsed at the end of an indoor practice session, was rushed to the hospital and lost. The Southwest Missouri football community rallied around the Eagles, rallied around that young man's family. Every game the following week, there was a ceremonial number 63 jersey hung up or carried out to the center of the field in that young man's memory. And the Joplin Eagles remembered their fallen teammate one more time as they took the state runner-up trophy last weekend after the Thanksgiving holiday. They raised his 63 jersey up one more time as they went as far as they had gone, Bo, since the mid-'80s when there was 2 high schools in Joplin, Parkwood and Memorial.
And the Eagles raced out to a big lead, or not a big lead, but a 2-score lead, and then really disaster struck after that. It's interesting how a game can turn on a turnover or a game can turn on a play, especially in high school football. It is amazing how momentum can just by the snap of a fingers turn. And that, to me, if you're Webb City, is what you said in the locker room.
That's what you're protecting against if you're the Webb City Cardinals right now, not wanting to turn the ball over, not wanting to give Platte County any inkling that they could get back into this game against the 14-time state champions.
So we get ready for the second half. And don't forget that it will be Webb City receiving this kickoff. They won the toss and deferred in the first half, so they'll get the kickoff. And really, they have a chance to put this one on ice with a touchdown, just because you get to that magical 35-point lead, and it becomes really hard to come back when you can't stop the clock.
John Roderick walking toward the south end zone there. 11 state championships while at the helm of Webb City. Of those 11 state championships, 10 of them were perfect seasons. It will not be a perfect season for Webb City this year with the loss to Joplin, but it could be a perfect night as we start the 12-minute clock, and they've got a 28-point advantage. A booming kick goes out of the end zone and will come back out for Webb City to start their opening drive here in the second half. Allen put a charge into that one.
He sure did. And let's see what Platte County has. They probably talked about one play at a time, one series at a time, and let's get back into this thing. Because if they could create a turnover right here and a quick score, it's going to be a completely different game.
It'll be a four-man defensive front against the Cardinals' double tight set here.
And if you're Platte County, I think you sell out against the run all half here.
And they do, but it's still positive yardage on first down, a gain of 4 as the Cardinals come out firing to their all-state star, Kabala.
And Kabala seems like he's so tough to tackle, doesn't he? Just when you think you have him, he spins forward for another 2 to 3 yards.
6'1", 200-pound senior all-state running back, 1,000-yard rusher. Whatever you want a running back's resume to say, that's what's on the resume of number 1 in that Columbia blue, red, and white. On second down now. This time Hicks will keep it himself. Get another first down here as Hicks has just been dynamite, faking the dive play and finding just the narrowest of seams to sneak through and get a good gain.
And there's another chunk play, Corey. 7 yards on that rush. He's 3 away from hitting 100. And this is what Webb City wants to do. Bleed the clock, keep the ball on the ground, and just really suck the life out of Platte County.
On first down, Hicks gives again, another spin by Kabala, and finally taken down by Mitchell.
It's another great run by Kabala, and he's going to pick up 9, and it'll be second and short again. And Webb City is just having its way up front.
Kabala now 7 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Hicks, Kabala, Weathers all scored rushing touchdowns in the first half. Second and short. Pirates showing blitz. It'll be an option to the far side. Pitch out. First down as Weathers is pushed out of bounds. Weathers, the junior, 6'1", 195 pounds.
Good job just on the option there. That was just to pick up the first down. That's all that was there for. And they did it successfully, a new set of downs. And they'll just keep churning this clock and keep churning the yardage.
He was run out of bounds by the linebacker, Will Hay. He's a 3-sport athlete at Platte County, football, basketball, track. He was a state qualifier in track and field a season ago. First down now from the 42. Option again to the near side. Again, Weathers tries to beat the Pirates but cannot. It'll be a loss of 2. It was a great angle of attack that time and a great finish as that time the Pirates, Trent Ruckert and Dayton Mitchell, A senior and a junior combined to take down the Cardinal runner.
And finally, selling out for the run paid off that time for the Pirates.
Loss of 2 will make it 2nd and 12 now. Cardinals will flex 2 receivers out to the right side of the formation, split backs. And again, the Pirates show blitz. They will bring the extra man, and Hicks tries to slip through an arm tackle, dives forward, and gets 3 yards back.
Good job on the backside there on the tackle. That was James Gladden coming from the backside to get Hicks on the carry. And now, if you're Platte County, you got to have a stop here. 3rd and long, 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. If you want any chance of winning this game, you got to have a stop.
Gladden, the 4th leading tackler on the Pirates defense with 49 coming into tonight's game. It is 3rd and long against Webb City. They are 0 for 1 tonight on 3rd downs. Hicks looks like he's going to pass, now changes direction, wants to run, cuts it back across the Mizzou Tiger logo at the 50, and that's where he's taken down, almost 2 yards short of the distance needed. Well, you know what? Well, yeah, 2 yards. I thought they were starting to give him a spot closer to the 49, but midfield, 4th and 2. May not see the punting unit here. Braden Bond handles most of the punting duties for Webb City.
We saw Webb City go for it in the 1st quarter on 4th and short. This is, again, another one where if you give it up the middle, you feel like your guys can get 2 yards.
If I had a telestrator, I'd circle number 1 right now. Watch Kabbalah. The give instead to Weathers, and he pushes the pile forward. They needed 2. He'll get 4 and collect another Webb City Cardinal first down, their 19th of the night.
And that's why the play on 3rd down by Hicks was so important. He didn't have to throw it, but he makes, on 3rd and 8, makes up 6 yards, allows them to go for it on 4th down. Now they keep the ball as we're approaching 4.5 minutes gone here in the 3rd.
I think Hicks has done an outstanding job. The senior quarterback for Webb City just continues to put this team in positive positions to succeed. 7:25 to go here in the 3rd. A little misdirection this time. They give to Kabbalah. He gashes the defense for another big gainer down the near side as he's shoved out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 36 yards on the run for big number 1 from Webb City.
And how about the discipline by Kabbalah? It was misdirection, as you called it. He waits for the lane to open. It opens, and then he turns on the jets. The other thing that I'm just so impressed with the Cardinals is you want to talk about a well-coached football team. They're running the play clock down to 4 or 5 in there. They're just milking this clock for all that they can. They have a 5-minute drive going here to open the 3rd quarter, and they could really put the dagger in at 28-0.
Ball on the 10. They'll option it to the outside. Hicks will hold the ball across the goal line and fall head first in for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and the Cardinals add to their lead.
Good fake there to Dylan Harlan. I thought Harlan had the ball on the dive, but it was Hicks who's over 100 yards rushing. Now he's at 117. Kabbalah's at 113. Hicks has 2 scores. His 2nd one, a nice one here. Goes around the defensive end, and then he's not touched until he's 1 yard deep into the end zone.
The extra point is up and good, and Webb City now with a 35-0 advantage over the Pirates of Platte County. As tonight, the Cardinals offense has been able to hit from just any part of the park. You see the massive crowd in the stands, all bundled up. But nobody's not having a good time on that side of the stadium, Bo.
No, they are not.
Except for maybe that guy who's pulled his jacket up over his head to keep his ears warm, probably. Good use of your Letterman's jacket.
So 35-0 now with 7:11 to go here in the 3rd. And Platte County has just got to come through and try to get back on the scoreboard.
10 plays, 80 yards. Webb City used 4 minutes and 49 seconds of time on the clock. After they tack on the extra point, Webb City scored 7 points in the first quarter, then 21, now another 7, and it's 35-0 in favor of the 14-time state champion Webb City Cardinals. Angling kick toward the far side of the field in front of the Webb City sidelines, fielded across the 30, short return that time. Not a lot of room to run for Trey Fawn, the 5'6 senior. That is where Chris Runke and company will take over. Been a long time since we've seen the Platte County offense.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Corey. And how about the kick coverage there by the Cardinals? I mean, you want to talk about a great coach team. That's what it does. Hey, we're going to kick it short, go get them, and they do. Again, now if you're Webb City, you can just really dig your heels in, try to stop the run if you need to, but you know they're going to chuck it because they have to. And so you pin your ears back and come after the quarterback.
Happy to see Caden Davis back into the ball game. The junior running back for the Pirates was their primary rusher in the opening quarter, Bo. Think he maybe got dinged up in the second quarter, didn't see him for much of the second quarter, but back out here as the sidecar to Runke in the shotgun here now as Runke throws a perfect pass off to his left side and is able to hit Hunter Clarkson for a first down catch.
Big hit by Sergio Perez to get the tackle after the first down, but I would say Platte County needs more of that, just pitching and catching and getting first downs.
Runke takes a deep drop this time, brings it back, and he's going to go ahead and run with it and only get about 3 or 4 yards as the Cardinals had linebackers spying him the whole way. Perez again in on the stop that time along with Serber.
And if you're Platte County, I think you got to go tempo, don't you? I think you have to go tempo here and just try to keep Webb City off balance because Webb City's been so good on defense. They've done the old bend but don't break tonight, and it's worked out perfectly for them, up 35-0.
Yeah. 6 quarters of shutout football from the state semifinal to the state title game as that one flies off the shoulder pad that time of 82, Colby Rollins. The 6'2 junior couldn't reel that one in. Tight defensive coverage that time, and it'll bring up third down.
And Runke was hurried that time. The defensive front got through for Webb City.
And that is a 3-man defensive front. The Cardinals are not in a 4-3. They are only putting 3 down linemen on, and guys like Trenton Thompson, the 6'3", 240-pound nose, they're winning 2-on-1 battles and forcing Runke out of his comfort zone.
And Runke hurried that throw, and that's why it was incomplete.
Runke 10 of 22 for 92 yards. Ready to spin this one over the middle. That one bounces off the turf, incomplete as well as he tries to hit his top target, Dayton Mitchell.
I'm going to say that Platte County hasn't seen a defense, especially a secondary like this, because I could imagine Runke picking apart other defenses and other defensive backs, but give credit to the linebackers and the secondary for the Cardinals. They're just playing great defense, keeping everything in front, and so far pitching the shutout nearly through 3 quarters.
Platte County will punt this one away. The snap was bobbled. Cardinals will fair catch this one on the 24-yard line. Kabali in on the punt return. That time he did fair catch it, and didn't run with it afterwards. And that's where he and his offensive compatriots will take over. Kabala, Webb City now, Bo, with 200-yard rushers in the game, and we've still got time left in the third quarter. The quarterback Hicks, 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kabala, 113 yards on 8 carries.
And as a team, Webb City is at 316 on 32 carries.
2 wide receivers out this time for Hicks as he steps under center. He will option it to the far side. Harlan steps around one would-be tackler and will gain about 5.
And again, just so impressive that 5 to 6 to 7 yards seems to be the norm.
Well, here's the thing. So let's let you behind the curtain a little bit. So when we prepare for these games, the Misha staff works with the coaches, and they give us these great stat sheets, right? We've been telling you these numbers all night. Well, they're told that you only have to give like 3 running totals or 3 receiver totals. Well, if you look at Webb City's, they give you Weathers, Kabbalah, and Hicks. Harlan's nowhere on the stat sheet, and he's been as good out of the backfield tonight as any of the rest. As Kabbalah will get another carry, he'll get another Webb City first down as he gets snowed under by 5 Pirates at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Harlan has 42 yards, Weathers has 50, and now Kabbalah becomes the leading rusher with 123 yards. Just complete domination. And Corey, let's make this point. Platte County knew what Webb City was going to do, and they can't stop it.
Well, that's why my favorite line ever, you remember the movie Remember the Titans?
Sure.
Which is horrible grammar. Do you remember the Titans? Well, I do. And there's a great line in that movie where they ask the new coach what his offense is going to be. He says, I run the veer. Oh, well, we've got some fancy pass plays and this and that. Maybe you want to try some of these. No, I like the veer. It's like Novocaine. Just give it time. It always works. Well, since 1989 when Jerry Kill came to Webb City, these Cardinals have run the veer. Jerry Kill won 1 state championship with it. Kurt Thompson won 2 state championships with it. And John Roderick has won 11, is on the precipice of winning an unprecedented 12th state title as they run it again now on second down. And will get 4 yards as they go off the right tackle, and the quarterback calls his own number. Hicks adds to his impressive rushing total tonight on his 12th carry of the game.
He's now at 121 yards, averaging 10 yards per carry as the QB.
And he came in tonight averaging 6.2.
And it looks like the Cardinals on 3rd and 3 will run this play. It should be the last play of the third quarter.
Ethan Trueblood lines up all by himself as a wide receiver. The Pirates stack about 7 in the box. Did they turn it over? Ball on the turf. 1 Pirate, 1 Cardinal. It looks like Hicks dove on the grenade.
I think he did too. He didn't get the ball cleanly, but then he dove on it, and that's the way the third quarter ends.
Webb City dodges a bullet, doesn't turn the ball over. 35-0 our score as we make our way to quarter number 4 in the Class 4 finale between Webb City and Platte County here on Misha.tv.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Fourth quarter action here in the Class 4 final from Faroe Field. Cardinals at midfield. Get the ground game going again. Harlan. 10-5. Touchdown, Webb City. The 4th different running back to score a rushing touchdown tonight. Dylan Harlan had 42 yards. He breaks that one to double down his yardage.
And just as you said it, Corey, Harlan's been running very well. That was a 4th and short, and they break 1 tackle, and Harlan's got nobody to beat in the backfield, and he's gone. And it's now 41-0.
It was a 52-yard touchdown run as the special teams unit comes on. The PAT is no good that time. That will keep the score at 41-0, and it will keep the clock rolling as the Webb City Marching Band continues to play on the far side of the field. Of course, in the state of Missouri in high school football, if one team is leading by 35 or more points in the second half, the clock does not stop, except for change of possession, timeouts, and injuries. That's the situation we have been in since Webb City went up 35-0 in quarter number 3.
So here's the breakdown now, the rushing breakdown for Webb City. Kabbalah, 10 carries, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Hicks, 13 carries, 122 yards, 2 TDs. Harlan, 6 carries, 94 yards, and a touch. And Weathers, 9 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. 38 carries by the team, 392 rushing yards for Webb City. It's been complete domination, and it's been quite a clinic by the Cardinals.
Webb City will kick this one away, backing up the return man all the way to the 20-yard line, spinning around off of one would-be tackler, and being taken down across the 30 is Caden Davis, the 5'7 junior. Starting to feel like it's deja vu all over again, Bo. It didn't maybe happen as fast as it did in the Lutheran North Ava game, but another Turbo Clock Championship game and another game where for Platte County, you're kind of just hoping they could get a touchdown to have something to hang their hat on, being back in a state championship game since they last won a title in 2002.
And Platte County had its chances in the first quarter. They drove the ball down, missed a field goal. Then they had a second good drive and missed another field goal, and now a false start as it'll be a penalty.
Procedure penalty go against the Pirates as we cross into the 9 o'clock hour.
That's the 6th penalty on the Pirates for 45 yards.
Been a fairly clean game, just 8 penalties overall, 6 against Platte County, 2 against Webb City. Back them up 5 yards. That'll make it 1st and 15 now for Runkey and the rest of the Pirates. Webb City's defense with 2 safeties over the top. The linebackers willing to sit back and just try to keep everything in front of them. Runkey tries to pick them apart and does as he connects that time. Diving catch along the out of bounds by Hunter Clarkson.
What a catch by Hunter Clarkson, and even a better throw that time by Runkey. Runkey put it to where only Clarkson could get it, and he caught it.
Second catch for 19 yards for Clarkson in the game. After the penalty, 2nd down and 6 with the ball spotted on the 35. Runkey claps, gets the snap, throws to his right, has another man right on that MU Tiger logo. And he will move the chains that time as he hits number 21, McCowan, a 5'10 senior, for his first catch of the game. That is now the 7th different receiver that Runkey is connected with. Spreading the ball around. Run off the right side. Taken down in the backfield by the Cardinals defense. Sam Thomas there along with Trenton Thompson, number 99 and 45 right there in the middle of your screen.
And a good play by the Cardinal defense, recognizing that even though there'd be a lot of passing, that there's still the threat of the run and staying home and playing your assignment football.
Always got to respect the run, no matter what the situation or the time of the game. Runkey tries to throw over the middle again, and that one is not caught. Pretty tiny window that Runkey was trying to get it into that time. Coverage applied that time in the secondary for Webb City by Shane Knoll. He wears 21. Platte County has moved the ball out to midfield, but have stalled now, 3rd down and 9. Runkey will have 3 wide receivers to his left and 1 to his right. Ruhnke will check down to the running back. Good on the touch pass that time by Ruhnke, but getting tripped up that time. Parker on the stop, the free safety, the leading tackler on this Cardinals team coming into tonight, or one of them, with over 80 tackles. But again, Ruhnke and the rest able to keep the chains moving. One of the better drives they've had since the first quarter.
No doubt about it. That was a good pass, good swing pass, and there was a lot of real estate out there. And a good tackle that time by Parker saved a lot more yardage.
Oh, no, that one there for a moment, Bo. I thought he caught it and then dropped it. They'll rule it an incomplete pass as Donnie McCush had one in his hands but couldn't hold on to it for his fourth catch of the game.
Again, McCush was open, and the passing game has been there for the Pirates all night. It's just a matter of some drop balls and some overthrows, and especially in the red zone, that has let down Platte County.
Ruhnke going to go deep this time. Contact in the secondary, and a flag comes in. This one is probably going to go against the Cardinals. Ruhnke was throwing into triple coverage that time. There were 3 white jerseys around the targeted receiver, but I think contact early. That'll be the penalty. It'll go against Webb City. The drive will stay alive here for the Pirates.
One of the Cardinals just a little too antsy right there. They had the coverage blanketed. They were in position just fine.
On the defense. First down.
So the PI will push the ball ahead to the 31-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there for Platte County. Fourth quarter clock all the way down now to 5:40 as that one bounces off the helmet of a player, and it's picked off. The Cardinals have the INT, and it's a foot race. Only Ruhnke can stop him, and he does at the 20 as Webb City gets an interception from Braden Bond.
How many times have we called Bond's name tonight? And this time he's the pinball wizard. Watch this. Ruhnke's pass will go off of 2 players, including a helmet, and goes forward to Bond, who catches it.
Sam Thomas, I think, for the Cardinals, got a hand on it as well. But that is magic bullet theory right there, bouncing around and ending up in the hands of the Webb City player. Bond gets the INT, and the Cardinals all the way back to the 20-yard line. They'll make a change at quarterback now as Hicks is out. Eli Goddard is in. He is 1 for 1 for a touchdown tonight in his earlier appearance.
And Bond, no, that's 35.
That's where we listen to the PA guy, and he sends us down the wrong road. The carry that time for Webb City was by Alcazar, number 35.
Our apologies to Bronson there on his first
Well, he
carry.
might have won. He just carried it like 40 yards down the field back to the 20. Young man probably needs to take a breather. Split backs behind Goddard. The give goes off the left side that time. And think a number of new names now wearing that powder blue, red, and white for Webb City out on the field for the first time tonight.
And that was Alcazar again. And now Webb City is at 399 yards rushing in tonight's game.
Well, I would say that it's a fairly solid bet that they're going to reach that 400-yard plateau. See what they do here. 1st and goal from the 8. This time the give goes up the middle, and they will have 400 yards on the ground. Will the Cardinals this time? It's the sophomore Cade Wilson on the carry. Wilson, 5'8", 160, his first touch of the night. Webb City has now had 6 different ball carriers in the game that all have a piece of that 411-yard rushing attack.
Unbelievable job by the offensive line, too. Don't want to leave those guys out because they've paved the way tonight for Webb City.
Always the unsung heroes of a vaunted rushing attack. Goddard under center, gives it straight up the middle. The Cardinals push the pile and score. to push the scoreboard that much higher. The give to Bronson Alcazar, and the senior gets the score in a state championship game.
And now 6 ball carriers, 5 have scored rushing touchdowns for Webb City, with Alcazar on the board as well.
Just a 1-yard carry for the touchdown, awaiting the point after. A left-footed kick is up and through. Webb City now on top of Platte County 48-0 in the Class 4 championship game.
Total domination by Webb City. They scored on their first 2 possessions, and the Cardinals just took control of this game, never letting Platte County off the deck. And now with the running clock, we may see 1 or 2 plays after the kickoff, and this game's going to be over, and the celebration's going to be on that far sideline in the Powder Blues.
Let me say this. Bill Oots at Platte County and John Roderick at Webb City are 2 of the class coaches that you will ever run into. What I think you're going to see right now, Bo, is a lot of freshmen and sophomores in the next 90 seconds to get to say they stood on the field at Faurot Field at the home of the Missouri Tigers and played in a state championship game. The turbo clock still continues to roll here, now ticking down close to a minute. This Webb City Cardinal dynasty, and it is that, as they enter the final 60 seconds of this game, began in 1989. They won state titles in 89, 92, and 93. Then again in 97. Then the march through the 2000s, 2000, 2001, and then the domination, 2006, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 2000. The 2000s were good to Webb City, Bo. Very good. John Roderick has been at the helm for 11 of those state titles. And tonight, it will be number 12, the last one coming in 2017. It is hard to believe that it had been 2 years since the Cardinals had been to a state championship game, as Platte County will take the final snap, one final run, and one final tackle in 2019 as Webb City wills their way to a record state championship number 15 by a lopsided 48-0 final score. Coach Roderick and the Cardinals now all alone in the history books, the only football program in the state of Missouri ever to win 15 state titles. We will have to wait and see if the coaching staff and the players of Valley Catholic are ready to match them tomorrow in their Class 1 championship game as they play for their 15.
And how impressive for Webb City in the finals and in the semifinals to not give up a single point. 8 quarters of shutout football in the 2 most important games of the season. You could talk about the offense, and we could talk about the 412 yards rushing, but that defense is what won the state championship.
God, my dad bought me a T-shirt when I was a kid. I grew up a Kansas City Chiefs fan. It said, offense sells tickets, defense wins Super Bowls. Back when the likes of Derek Thomas, Neil Smith, Dan Saliamoa played on the defense for Kansas City. Well, it was defense that won the day here today. It won it last weekend as well, as the Webb City Cardinals continue their dynastic run. 48-0, the final score here. Remember, stick around. We will bring you live streaming coverage of both the state runner-up trophy that will be presented to Platte County, as well as the state championship trophy that will go to the Webb City Cardinals. Some incredible numbers over the time of this team's run. How about this, Bo? Webb City hasn't been shut out in a game since 1995.
Wow.
From 2010 to 2014, they won 46 straight games. They had a regular season winning streak of 91 straight regular season wins from 2004 to 2013. They had the longest playoff win streak of 21 from 2010 to 2015. I did a little research earlier today trying to find out if Coach Roderick were to win a 12th title, how many coaches in sports in the state of Missouri have more? Well, there's only a couple of names. Henry Shermer of U-City Track and Field has 15 state titles. John Moore, the wrestling coach at Rittenhour, has 15 state titles. Ronnie Cookson, the legendary coach of Scott County Central boys basketball, has 13 titles. Joe Bill Dixon, the cross-country coach at West Plains, has 13. And right up next, 12 state titles for John Roderick and Webb City.
It's what we called the gold standard in the state of Missouri. And that's the reason that you just read that off is why they are the gold standard. They have been the class of Missouri State high school football ever since they switched to the mirror and decided, hey, you can't stop us. People haven't been able to stop us. And let's be honest, Corey, when somebody does stop them in a year, it's like their Super Bowl.
Yep, just ask Ladue.
Just ask Ladue. Absolutely right.
Let's pay attention now. They're getting the Pirates lined up on the near hatch facing their home side of the stadium. They get ready to bring the cheerleaders out and present the Pirates with the 2019 Class 4 state runner-up trophy. Platte County will finish their 2019 campaign with a record of 11-4.
And congrats to Platte County. And, you know, Coach Oots told us, he said, this is going to be a tough game because we know who we're playing.
Direct your attention to the field for the awards presentation of this Class 4 championship game. First, our runner-up team, the Pirates of Platte County High School, finishing the season with a record of 12-3. Presenting awards on behalf of the Mission Board of Directors is Danny Fleming. Head coach Bill Lutz is also being presented the official Wilson Game Ball and individual player medals. Please join me in a round of applause for your 2019 Class 4 runners-up, the Platte County Pirates.
Not the ending that the Pirates wanted to the season. Looking to put a fourth trophy in their trophy case, but just be advised, Christopher Runke, their quarterback, is only a junior. He will be back next year. Now the cheerleaders for Webb City will bring out the trophy.
Presenting awards on behalf of the official board of directors is Corey Johnson. Head coach Bob Rodriguez is also being presented the official Wilson Game Ball and individual player medals. Let's have another round of applause for the 2019 Class 4 champions, the Webb City Cardinals.
It was not a perfect season in 2019 for Webb City, but it is a perfect ending as they claim the crown once again of the kings of Class 4 football in the state of Missouri. 48-0 the final score. Bo, you've got 3 more tomorrow, my friend. Have fun.
Can't wait. It should be a long day of football, but it's going to be a good day of football. It's hard to believe that tomorrow is the final day of the 2019 football season.
Well, it's all said and done for the boys of Class 4, and Webb City does it again. An unprecedented 15th state championship going back to Webb City High School. 48-0 your final between the Cardinals and the Pirates. For Bo Bayman and our entire crew, I'm Corey Riggs saying thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, we'll be back here tomorrow, live and streaming, right here on Misha.tv.